Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel, and we enter the final video build of the Warbringer Nemesis Titan, and that is the Magnetising. So there's a couple of bits I need to do on this. That is the arm weapons and then the two little turret weapons that sit on top of the shoulder pads. What I'm not going to be covering in any of this series is the head video. Reason being for that is that to do it you've got to paint it before you build it, because you want to get inside all the details. So I don't really want to build it just for the sake of a video. What I'm going to do is paint it separately, and there will be videos on the painting. But that's beside the by. This video is all about how to get round the trickiness of magnetising the weapons. So let's get straight into the video. So then, here we go. This is the problem we have to solve. So what we have here is one of the Gatling Blasters I've got, and this is the two-piece weapon arm system that you get. Actually, it's three pieces. The small little piston pieces are a separate piece, but I've glued those in. That's pretty obvious. Now, typically, if you're going to, the design for this isn't to magnetise this base piece. Most of the Warbringer itself has got little magnet holes. This one doesn't, so they haven't really thought too much about it. So we have to come up with an alternative. So this is the existing Gatling Blaster. I've showed that in a previous video, and this piece here comes with the weapons. Since they re-released the weapons, these pieces come with the torso and not with the weapon arm. So if you're going to get more weapons, you're going to be in trouble unless you work out how to resolve this problem. So the other end of this is the torso itself, and you've got these big ball sockets where the top of that ball sort of fits in here, and then you've got that posability. We want to make that section magnetic, and then we also want to make the section that jumps onto the weapon itself also magnetic, so you end up with two joins, but it does solve the problem of a multi-weapon swap. And I think I mentioned in a previous video, I want to be able to use the Gatling Blaster, which I've got fixed to be left-handed, and I want to be able to make the other one go on the other arm. So the way we're doing this is that the Gatling Blaster for both types will be ambidextrous, but I'll be able to run a left and right weapon option here. So this is what the challenge is, right? So you want to be able to make sure it's as flexible as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that ball off, and then we're going to widen that circle at the bottom, and then we're going to drill out the little nub that you can see in the middle of the video on that weapon. And these are the magnets I'm going to be using. These are 3mm by 12, I think they are. They've got a 2.4 kilo hold weight rated on them, so they are perfect for this. And you can see here that's going to go in there once I've drilled that out. That one will go in there once I've cut that top piece off, and I'll rebuild around that with some green stuff. And then finally, one's going to go in this piece here, and we just need to make sure that we get all our orientations right. So quadruple check. It's an easy mistake to make if you get it wrong. So these are the magnets. This is the challenge, and this is what we're going to solve here. So the first thing we need to do is cut that little ball section off. Most of the ball section needs to go, because we're going to mount magnets in the receiving section on the torso. You put two magnets in there, and this will sit too far proud because of the double magnet width. That extra 6mm of the two magnets will make it too proud. So you need to cut off basically double magnetic depth on that. So this is how we've done it. So I've taken a drill like this with a routing piece like that, and I've just drilled that, and that's the same width as the magnet. And all I've done is just drill that out, and all we're going to do is stick a magnet in there. What you want to do is make sure that those magnets sit flush. So you want to drill that out enough so that the magnets are, sort of completely recessed. And you can see there, I finished the cut off of that. Those are going to sit exactly like that, and then I'll pack around the outside with green stuff. I've also drilled this one out. I didn't drill it though with the same drill. I used a Dremel boring piece, because if you use that drill, it's got a spike on the end, and it would have come straight through the other side. So I had to be a little bit more creative with the way I drilled that out. You can see here, just quadruple checking the fixes and the mounts exactly we go before we do anything funky. And this is the net result. So all I've done is stuck a magnet in there. I've used JB Weld to do that. Any adhesive that is stronger than the magnetic pull is going to be good. And then packed around the edges that naturally occur because I can't drill straight with green stuff. And you can see on those ball sections, I've just built around the outside of them with green stuff like this. This one's nearly fully cured, the other one's not fully cured yet. And I've just sort of shaped the outside with a scalpel blade, just so that it's kind of rounded on the outside. And that is the solution so far. So the next bit, you make sure the polarity there, so these two are pressing or opposing each other, sorry, so that you know they're the right way around, and then we can just sort of test how this all goes together. So if we just grab the torso itself, and you can see in one of these sides here, I'm just going to show it now, I've put a magnet in. Again, that's been adhesive in there, JB welded in there, and then packed around the outside with some green stuff. So nice and simple, just kind of rinse and repeat the process on the other side as well. I've put them in at a slight angle because if you looked at the Gatling Blaster, that is sort of towed in a little bit, so to make sure that lines up and doesn't sort of lean inwards, you need to have the magnet at a slightly jaunty angle. And you can see there, that holds perfectly well and looks pretty good to me. So we just need to make sure that when we do the other arm pieces, that the angled hinge that you do get means that the weapon hangs straight on there. So you can see there, that's the orientation's right. So we just need to sort of work out how the rest of it goes. And you can see the bottom piece, which has got the other magnet on, sort of hangs down, and that connects to the weapon. Hope that kind of makes sense to you guys. I don't know how well my explanation is going here, but that's the principle. So now we're a few hours later now, so most of the magnets have dried, and you can see that orientation's good. That bottom piece connects into there, holds that weapon nicely, and then we just need to really glue the two halves of that weapon arm itself, and then we'll be good to go. You can see I've done both shoulder points now at this stage of the video. Second one's exactly the same as the one I just showed a minute ago. So you just want to sort of now look at the angle that you've got with that flexibility, so that the Gatling Blaster or whatever weapon you've got hangs correctly and doesn't sort of toe in or toe out at an unnatural angle. Now what I've done here is also grab the other weapon I've got for my Reaver Titan, so you can see the same principle on that side. They both hang at a slightly different angle, which is cool because that adds to some posability, but they fully twist around on their magnetic point of contact. So that's it. So I now know, I'm quite happy that the Reaver Titan weapons that I've got work on this build. So fast forward a little bit further here, what I've done here is applied the adhesive between the two connecting points on the two bits of the arm using JB Weld or Araldite, whichever you have available to you, and I'll just clamp those into position to dry overnight. I didn't use quick the quick version on that. I've used the slower drying stuff. So the next point I want to do is the turret weapons. These are anti-aircraft batteries that go on the top, and they sort of fit in there. I mean, they will just sit freestanding, that's not a problem, but I want to use some magnets. So these ones I believe are 6 or 7 millimeters wide by 2 millimeters deep. Now the hole's already pre-drilled for you from Forgeworld. They actually thought about this one on both the receiver and the other side. And again, all I've done is just use adhesive and get those magnets in. Now there's already magnets underneath these, remember where we've done the arms. So what you want is the orientations that they pull against each other. So they're actually pulling towards each other rather than repulsing, which is, or repelling, sorry, which is perfect. So that's what I've done here. And then I've done that on the other side of these weapon turrets. And as you can see, they fit in just perfect. So kudos to Forgeworld for that. I don't know whether alternative weapons are going to come, but if they do, I can swap them out. So there we go then, guys. The weapons are now magnetised. And just as a recap then, because the Reaver Titan weapons that I want to be able to interchange between the Reaver itself and the Warbringer, and the Reaver weapons came with that little stubby part that the weapon mounts on, and this one doesn't. It comes with the torso, and if you want to change weapons, I needed to make sure that that fiddly little piece was double magnetic. That's kind of where this video's real point comes into its own, really, just to make sure that that is covered, so that I now have 4 arm weapons that I can use across 2 different Titans. Yeah, the little arm pieces is slightly different, but you know what, you're not going to really care about that in game. You just want that flexibility of the weapons that you spent all that money on. So I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something new. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.